Stephen Vincent Strange believed the world could be mastered, not ruled by gods, not shaped by destiny, not bent by chance. To Stephen Strange, the universe was a puzzle, one that yielded to intelligence, precision, and control. He was the best neurosurgeon in New York City, and everyone knew it. Inside the gleaming halls of Metro General Hospital, his name carried weight. Nurses whispered it with awe. Interns spoke it with fear. Patients placed their lives in his hands with trembling hope. Strange's hands were legendary, steady, perfect, unshakable. He could repair the most damaged brain without hesitation, navigating neural pathways like a master cartographer. Where others saw chaos, Strange saw order. And his ego? Just as flawless. He drove fast cars, wore tailored suits, and kept his heart locked behind sarcasm and arrogance. He chose patience based on prestige, not need. He rejected humility as weakness. Too. Stephen Strange, failure was impossible. Until one night shattered everything. Chapter 1. The night of broken and rain poured like judgment from the sky. Stephen Strange sped along the mountain highway, one hand on the steering wheel, the other flipping through medical scans on his phone. He had just finished a surgery that should have been impossible, and he'd made it look easy. The road curved sharply. The phone slipped. For a split second. His eyes left the road. That was all fate needed. The car spun. Metal screamed. Glass exploded. Stephen Strange's world folded in on itself when he woke. The silence was deafening. Then came the pain, not sharp existential. His hands were wrapped in bandages, suspended like fragile relics. He tried to move them. Agony ripped through his body. Doctors stood around him, their faces grim. He recognized every one of them, former colleagues, now looking at him with pity. "The nerves are severely damaged," one said gently. "We did everything we could," said another. "You'll never operate again." Those words cut deeper than any scalpel. Stephen Strange, the man who defined himself by his hands, was finished. Chapter 2. The man who couldn't let geo-recovery was worse than the crash. Stephen endured endless surgeries, experimental treatments, and physical therapy sessions that drained his fortune and his spirit. Each tremor in his fingers was a reminder of what he had lost. His arrogance turned into bitterness. He pushed away the one person who still believed in him, Christine Palmer, the surgeon who had stood by his side through every operation. "You're not the same man," she told him quietly one night. "No," Strange replied coldly. "I'm less." Eventually, the money ran out. The cars disappeared. The penthouse vanished. The applause faded. All that remained was a broken man with shaking hands and an unhealed soul. Then came a rumor, whispered story overheard in a bar, a paraplegic who had walked again after visiting a place called Kamar-Taj. Strange clung to that name like a lifeline. With his last dollars, he booked a flight east. Chapter 3. Kamar-Taj greeted Stephen Strange with chaos, crowded streets, strange languages, a world utterly beyond his control. He wandered, desperate, until he found the place that should not have existed, a hidden sanctuary nestled between reality and myth. Kamar-Taj. Inside, the air felt different, heavier, ancient. A woman stepped forward, calm, powerful, unimpressed. They called her the Ancient One. "You seek healing," she said. "I seek my hands back," Strange replied. She laughed, not cruelly, but knowingly. "You seek to bend the world to your will," she said. "Learn instead to bend yourself." Stephen scoffed, until she pushed him through reality itself. Chapter 4. The doors of the MI, and with a single touch, the Ancient One shattered Strange's understanding of existence. He fell through dimensions. Time unraveled. Space folded. Infinite realities brushed past him like cosmic tides. He saw worlds without time, cities floating in voids, realms built on thought and magic. When he collapsed back into his body, Stephen Strange was sobbing. Everything he believed was wrong. Science was not the ceiling of knowledge. It was the floor. The Ancient One offered him a choice: leave and remain broken, or stay and learn. Stephen Strange bowed his head. For the first time in his life, he surrendered. Chapter 5. The path of a Sorcerer training at Kamar-Taj was brutal. Strange studied ancient texts, written in languages long dead. He learned that Magic was not power drawn from ego, but discipline drawn from balance. He met fellow students Carl Mordo, a warrior of strict principles, and Wong, the quiet guardian of knowledge. Strange struggled at first, but something awakened inside him. His mind, once devoted to surgery, adapted rapidly. He memorized spells, mastered complex sigils, and bent reality with growing precision. Yet temptation lurked. Forbidden's books whispered promises of shortcuts, and Strange, still haunted by loss, listened. Chapter 6. The Eye of Ajamote T.O. in the deepest library chamber, Stephen found it, a relic older than empires. The Eye of Agamotto. Inside it rested a power beyond comprehension, the Time Stone. With it, Strange could rewind moments, freeze disasters, and rewrite outcomes. He tested it cautiously. At first, then recklessly. He saved lives by bending time. He corrected mistakes before they happened. But every use left a mark. Reality resisted being rewritten, and something else noticed. Chapter 7. Dormammu Ariaceus from the Dark Dimension. A being watched. Dormammu, a timeless entity of hunger and entropy. Through corrupted disciples led by Caecilius, Dormammu sought to merge Earth with his realm, ending time itself. Cities fell into chaos. Reality fractured. The Ancient One confronted the darkness and paid the ultimate price. As she died, she spoke to Stephen. It's not about you. Her final lesson. Chapter 8. The Sorcerer Supreme. Stephen Strange stood at the edge of annihilation. The world was ending, and he alone understood time well enough to stop it. He entered the dark dimension, not with weapons, but with resolve. Facing Dormammu, Strange did the impossible. He looped time, again, and again. And again, Dormammu destroyed him endlessly, and Strange endured endlessly. Not for glory, not for ego, but for the world. At last, Dormammu yielded. The Earth was saved. Time flowed forward once more. Epilogue. The man who chose to serve Stephen Strange returned the Time Stone. He rejected ultimate power. He accepted responsibility. Now, in the Sanctum Sanctorum, he stands as Earth's protector against threats, unseen guardian of realities. Master of mystic arts. Not a god. Not a king, but something greater. A man who lost everything and found his purpose.